The Bible is a living word that reads us as we read it. It's a person, a voice that proves that time is not linear, as one sentence can confirm the past, guide the present, and declare the future. You are here. I am here. He is here. We are here. Right now. In the tomorrow of yesterday and in the yesterday of tomorrow. I thank you for joining today.
So we're back. Thank you so much for joining once again. In our last episode, we talked about the importance of following the instructions that the Lord gives you and not being distracted by external factors. A man of God received a word from the Lord to go and speak against the altar that Jeroboam raised up. The man of God prophesied about the coming of a man named Josiah, who would ultimately destroy the altar and clean house in Israel. Once the man of God completed his assignment, he met an older prophet who deceived him and gave him a made up word that contradicted the instructions that the man of God received from the Lord. He yielded to his fleshly desire to eat and drink to his own detriment. In due time, both the king of Israel, Jeroboam, and Abijah, the king of Judah, unsubscribed from life. Nadab, Jeroboam's son, succeeded him as king of Israel and reigned for a short 2 years before being set up and canceled by a man named Baasha. Now, Nadab was just as wicked as his daddy. Baasha, from the tribe of Issachar, slid himself onto the throne and wiped out everyone in Jeroboam's family, fulfilling the word that the prophet gave Jeroboam's wife when she called herself trying to disguise herself to see what the fate of her ill son would be. So Jeroboam is no more, and his entire family have been wiped out. Asa, down south, succeeded his father Abijah as king of Judah, and he cleaned house. He removed the altars that were raised up to foreign gods. He got rid of the high places set up for wicked rituals. He smashed the sacred stones. He chopped down the poles that were raised up in honor of the pagan fertility goddess Asherah. He threw out the male shrine prostitutes. This man was so serious about doing what was right in the eyes of the Lord. He even deposed his own grandma, stripped her from the position of queen mother because she made a repulsive image for the worship of Asherah. The Lord gave Asa rest and peace from all sides for those years. And during that time, Asa had enough sense to know that rest does not justify unproductivity. He didn't just kick his feet up and relax. He assessed the areas of vulnerability in his kingdom and he put up guards. After destroying what wasn't pleasing to God, he set up and reinforced boundaries to protect what was pleasing to God. Asa built walls, towers, gates, and bars around the fortified cities of Judah. He also equipped the fighting men in his army with weapons and shields. Asa knew that if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And sure enough, one day the rest faded. These people called the Cushites decided to march out and pick a fight with the people of Judah. Asa prepared for such a day while he was in his season of rest. Take notes from this man. If you feel like you are in a season of rest, do not think that that means you are meant to be unproductive. It could be the perfect time for you to set up boundaries and parameters in order to guard and protect the blessings that God has given you. So Asa, with over 500,000 men in his army, marched out against the Cushites and posted up. Then he did something deeply admirable. He prayed to the Lord. Lord, there's no one like you to help the powerless against the mighty. Help us, Lord, for we rely on you, and in your name we have come against this vast army. You are God. Do not let mere mortals prevail against you. In response, the Lord whooped the Cushites, rewarding Asa's acknowledgement that no matter how prepared he was or how vast his army was, he was powerless without the Lord. Now, after the Lord flexed on the Cushites, they ran, and the men of Judah chased them and then carried off their plunder. And I'm talking about a lot of plunder. Afterwards, the Lord sent a man named Azariah with a message for Asa, Judah, Benjamin, and me, okay, because I receive it for myself too. Azariah said, "The Lord is with you when you are with him. If you seek him, he will be found by you. But if you forsake him, he will forsake you." Now, hold on, wait a minute, because I thought the Lord will never leave me nor forsake me, right? We love the promises that are in the word, but we sure do know how to overlook the terms and conditions. In context, when Joshua was told that the Lord will never leave him or forsake him, it also said 2 verses later in Joshua chapter 1, verse 7, that Joshua was to obey all the law and not turn from it, but to keep the book of the law on his lips and meditate on it day and night. Similarly, in First Chronicles chapter 28, verse 9, David told his son Solomon, "Acknowledge the God of your father. Serve him with wholehearted devotion and with a willing mind. For the Lord searches every heart and understands every desire and every thought. Whew. If you seek him, he will be found by you. But if you forsake him, he will reject you forever." Did you catch that? There are conditions around the promise. If you are holding on to a word from the Lord that doesn't seem to be working for you, search to see if you're missing any details, because there just may be a shift on your part that needs to happen first. It says very clearly, yo, you forsake me, I'm gonna forsake you. You don't get to push me away and still benefit from all that I bring to the table, right? So Azariah gave that word to Asa and to the people of Judah and Benjamin. Asa was encouraged by Azariah not to give up because his work would be rewarded. And he didn't quit. This man did not quit until every idol was removed from the entire land of Judah, Benjamin, and towns in the hills of Ephraim that he captured. Now, Israel, they were on their own. They were under different leadership. They had their own thing going. But as for those who were under the rule of Asa, he cleaned house. He also repaired the altar of the temple of the Lord and brought silver and gold articles into the temple. He then gathered all of the people of Judah, which consisted of not only the people in Judah, but also Benjamin, the people from Ephraim, Manasseh, and Simeon, who settled among them. Because these folks got wind of and saw that the Lord was with Asa and not with those bootleg golden calves that Jeroboam set up. They're like, yo, hold up. We peeping what's going on over there. The favor of the Lord is over there. So these people, the people from Ephraim, Manasseh, and Simeon, decided to go and settle amongst those who were in Judah. Once Asa assembled everyone, they sacrificed hundreds of cattle and thousands of sheep and goats from the plunder that they just got from the victory the Lord handed them when they defeated the Cushites. It wasn't enough for Asa that he got rid of the things that were displeasing to God. It wasn't enough that he built up the temple. What he also did was he led the people into covenant. They entered into a covenant to seek the Lord with all of their heart and all of their soul. And anyone who wasn't about that life and who still wanted to dabble with the practices of the false gods were put to death. That is serious. Asa's like, yo, if you're not for us, you are against us. It didn't matter who they were, where they came from. Asa played no games. He made no room, no space, no allowances for wickedness and wicked behavior. If they were not trying to get with God, they had to get gone, plain and simple. There are people in your life right now, in your phone, in your DMs, in your friend circle, in your family. These people know better. You probably have at least one or two in mind right now. People that you know who know better, but they still want to dabble and straddle the fence between rocking with God and rocking with the kingdom of darkness. You may try to offer accountability, but they say, it ain't that serious. You doing too much. God knows my heart. Now, it may just be time to follow the lead of Asa and cut those people off. Now, hear me out, because I know you feel like you're going to be the one to lead them to the Lord. And I hope that is true. But let me tell you this, there is a difference between someone who is ignorant and someone who is foolish. Ignorant people lack knowledge, awareness, information. Okay. They may not be doing better because they genuinely do not know better. Teach them, show them, lead them, right? On the other hand, foolish people have knowledge, awareness, and information, but they lack good sense. Leave them. It's not just me. Read your word. Proverbs 13:20 says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Pray about it. Seek the lead of the Holy Spirit. But every now and again, you might just have to clean house for yourself and say, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do it. I can't keep making allowances, making room, making space for people who are bowing their knees at the altars of other gods. Because really, what value are they adding to your life? Just saying. Now, all of Judah, at least those remaining, took an oath to the Lord and sought him eagerly. Just as Azariah said, when they sought the Lord, they found him. Once again, he gave them rest on every side. That is, until Baasha, the king of Israel, old boy who stole the throne from Nadab, went up against Judah. This time, however, Asa moved in a way that was quite contrary to how he moved before when the Cushites went up against him. This time, Asa took silver and gold out of his palace and out of the temple of the Lord, and he paid off Benadad, the king of Aram. He basically drained the bank accounts and said, yo, break your alliance with Israel and enter into a treaty with me instead. Stop siding with Israel, come side with Judah. Benadad proved that he could be bought. And this is why I say every now and again, you really should assess your friend group, because while some are ride or dies, you have others whose allegiance can be bought. Benadad withdrew from Israel and sided with Asa and Judah instead, which forced Baasha, the king of Israel, to back off. Because now he wasn't only up against Judah, he ran the risk of upsetting Aram as well. This was a victory for Asa, but it was a victory that he would soon pay for again. Shortly thereafter, a prophet named Hanani went to visit Asa, and he put him in check. Why are you acting like a fool? You sided with the op instead of relying on God. How quickly we forget. Yo, the Cushites were a mighty army. You relied on the Lord and he handed them over to you, right? What's different, Asa? He's not. The Lord would have handed the Israelites, Aram, Benadad, all of them over to you. But he strengthens those whose hearts are fully committed to him. And clearly, yours isn't. From now on, you'll be at war. Ugh. I could not imagine receiving that word. Asa was so livid about what Hanani said that he locked him up in prison. And he also took his anger out on some of the people. The question for real is, what happened, Asa? Right? Like, what was the shift for you, bro? I don't understand what happened. Less than 3 years later, Asa got a nasty disease in his feet. Some say it was gout or gangrene. Despite the severity, he relied upon the help of the physicians rather than seeking help from the Lord. Shortly thereafter, Asa died, underscoring a point that I made in a previous episode, straight from 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12. If you think that you are standing firm, be careful that you don't fall. Asa was noble in so many ways. I love the way this man stepped up, cleaned house, and honored God. But he got caught slipping. Fear of defeat caused him to lose his footing and rely upon an alliance that he could see. Similarly, Solomon was noble in many ways, but his appetite for foreign women with idol gods caused him to lose his footing. The prophet that we spoke about in our last episode, he completed the assignment. He did what the Lord sent him to do, but his flesh, that hunger, that thirst, caused him to lose his footing. Here's the part that really just strikes me. We can live a full life following the lead of the Lord, tearing down what doesn't serve him, building up what honors him. However, we have to stay in constant communion with him. We have to fully rely upon him. It's not just a one and done. Oh Lord, save my soul. Oh Lord, I make you the Lord of my life. You get to be my savior. I want to be on team Jesus. And then we leave it at that and live however we want to live and all of this and all of that. Like, no, serving Christ, serving the Lord is a lifestyle. As often as we breathe, we need to be checking in. We need to make sure that every move that we make is in alignment with what the Lord will have us to do. The beauty of him being a living God who speaks to us, who dwells within us, who communes with us, who speaks to other believers about us so that they can bring us a word from him. The beauty of that is that we don't have to be out here living without guidance. It is imperative that we're in constant communication. Because we walking around with our chests puffed out about what poor person we just gave money to, what unhoused person we just gave a meal to, like all of these things. It's like we have this very public missionary work we got going on and social media and all of this other stuff. We want other people to see how good we are, how many scriptures we know, how familiar we are with our word. But during that time when you think you're standing, be very careful that you don't lose your footing. Take heed lest you fall, right? I cannot stress that enough because we're seeing it time and time and time and time again in the word, how these people, it's like, what? Like, what happened? What happened? It's too easy out here. It's too easy to be caught slipping because we're dealing with a very real and very active adversary who wants to put up all kinds of obstacles in our way because, again, he on top of his game when it comes to his job description. His very objective and mission is to steal, kill, and destroy. He wants to do that. We have to be all the more vigilant about guarding ourselves. And the only way to really do that is to stay in constant communion and communication with the Lord because he is the one who is going to let us know what pleases him. Anyhow, I'll stop there for now. But I look forward to sharing more in our next episode if the Lord blesses me to record another. Thank you so much for your love and support. It means so much to me that you took the time to listen to this episode. If you have not already, please like, share, subscribe. And until next time, bye for now.